The Misadventures of Tron Bonne!
Hello there, everybody, and welcome to this week's Warpportal weekly live stream.
What do you all think of our new ship, huh? How's she holding up?
Or I'm gonna have
System's checked. Everything's perfect.
but I'm gonna have.
Looks like you did another excellent job. Thanks, Tron. I'm always impressed at how you're able to build such neat toys.
It's not that big of a deal, Teasel. I mean, you were able to get us the best kind of equipment, which let us finish the job a lot faster than it would have taken.
I know we spent a lot of money on this ship, which means we're going to have to work hard to get it back. That's why I've got something really big planned for us this time. We're going to take the legendary treasure of the Nakai Desert, Diana's Tear.
What? But that's supposed to be one of the biggest refractors in the world. How did you find it?
It wasn't easy. I had to spend a lot to get that information. That old junk dealer drove a hard bargain.
Anyway, all right, people, you know the plan. I'm going to take ship B in.
Okay, let's see how that works. Yeah, hopefully it's a little bit easier for you guys to hear me. If you have a ticket in the system, I'm not going to be able to assist you with that. I'm a community manager. The GM team is a separate entity, and they're the folks who handle your ticket inquiries. It'll look a little awkward on the green screen, but at least you guys will be able to see me. So yeah, this just came out on PSN. It's pretty cool little game. But yeah, let me know how you guys are doing in the chat. Let me know if the volume is too loud, too quiet, or what. And yeah, we'll check this out while we wait for the Requiem guys to get here. So this game is old enough that this predates oops, oh geez. This game is so old it predates having a second stick. So everything is controlled with one stick, or actually this was pre-analog, so I have it set to emulate the original Okay, let's see how that sounds. So yeah, if you guys have never seen this, this was a sequel to, a prequel to Mega Man Legends, starring the villain of that game, Tron Bonne. And so she's a little bit more famous nowadays for having appeared in the Marvel vs. Capcom line of games, along with these little guys as Servbots. Now, these guys are kind of like, you know, if you've seen Despicable Me, they're pretty much the minions from that game. But these came way earlier. Maybe. Cool. Yeah, I don't want those controls. Okay, there we go. I think I like that a little bit better. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's sort of like a secret mech game. You spend most of it controlling, you know, one of these cool-looking robots. And so, you know, in addition to, like Mega Man Legends, you can fire a certain number of bolts at a time, and you can kind of upgrade that. Camera control, because you don't have that second stick, is kind of bad. But yeah, you got some fun secret stuff like this. You got your little guys helping you and making some good money here. Come on, there we go. The story and the kind of tone of the game is very much like a Saturday morning cartoon, something like the old Sonic the Hedgehog or Mega Man cartoon. You know, everybody's kind of screaming all the time, real goofy, but I mean, it definitely fits with the look of the game. And you know, it's very charming. Everything's kind of stylized, so this actually still looks pretty good. You know, because it's PS1, there's the graphics are perhaps not, you know, absolutely fantastic, but because everything's kind of made to look almost kind of like a cell shaded or real cartoonish, I think it still holds up pretty well in the graphics department, and the music is super catchy. You know, all the little Servbots have very, very cute voices. There's some great sound design going on in the game. Ooh. Okay, that's bad. This guy's murderizing me. Alright, so I got a little bit of Super Slim Pot says, Oda, please do my dishes so I can go back to playing. Sure, I will, you know, I will wave my hand and the dishes will be done. But yeah, the game ever since it came out on PS1, it was never re-released on PS2 or PSN until just this last week, I believe. Various rights problems prevented this and the Mega Man Legends series from being re-released, which, you know, I think it costs upwards of $200 to buy a copy of this used on eBay, which is just totally crazy. Yeah, but it's kind of neat. You got like actual, you know, their mouths kind of moving and stuff like that. Chairs or something. You guys can't see it, but I have the camera right in front of the screen, so I'm trying to find the best angle. It is definitely not working out. Welcome. We've got our first special guest entering the arena. This is Alteris popping a Diet Coke.
Yep.
So welcome.
Yo.
Now I actually have to move the camera over.
Oh, okay. Are you playing Tron Bonne?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thought it would be kind of cool to show it off on stream. Yeah, our Friday show, guys, we don't usually play just Ragnarok or Requiem or Rose or anything like that. We have separate streams for that. This is just kind of the show where we can hang out, talk to our developers and producers about what they've got going on in the game and kind of what's going on in the world of geek, game, movie culture and, you know, hashtag, you know, whatever. And just thought it would be fun to do that. So that's kind of the thing we do. Today's show is brought to you, of course, by the delicious Diet Coke.
Oh, I guess our second guest is here.
Our second guest is here. Let me make him welcome. This is Helium.
Which side should I sit on?
If you'll sit
The
right
open
there.
side.
The open side.
Oops.
Oh, you're fighting the boss.
I'm actually in a battle right now, so let me deal with that. So you can send your little guys to
Serve bots, right?
the serve bots, and they'll kind of distract them. It's kind of awkward. It's sort of like if I'm going perpendicular.
I think this was before they had the second analog, right?
Oh, this is before they had an analog stick. Period. I think.
Oh, really?
But yeah, you guys are joining us from the Requiem development team. You guys have got some fun changes in store, and
Wow.
he did not like that. But yeah, the design of the game is really fun. I think it works very well for the limitations of the PS1 engine.
You know, that mech reminds me of that one robot from the mech fighter that Capcom made.
That's
No, it had Jin as the main pilot.
I can
Do you remember
totally
that
see
one? It was like a 2D fighter. Oh man, I forgot the name of it.
Okay, so Sabasa King says, my dream is to cultivate my beard to that level someday.
Well,
We're gonna
should
cut
I
it.
mention?
Yeah, we're
Yeah, I
gonna
think we should give a quick preview for what's going to be going on.
Mm-hmm. So much for the beard.
Yeah, one of the things that we're looking to do as an event for you guys to enjoy is to shave Helium's beard.
And a cut, too.
Oh
Haircut as well.
Really?
Whole cut. Just getting a haircut, guys.
That, I don't know. Okay.
Well, there's gonna
I've
be a
never
level.
seen you without it. It seems weird.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird. I've
It's
seen
gonna
you
be
with your
weird.
beard since forever.
I expect after the butcher job, I'll have to go and get it done.
Yeah,
You have to
probably.
get it all shaved off or something like that. I
It's
don't
gonna
know.
be
That's
fun.
always that's been something that I've been kind of like, I don't know if that's all right. You know.
We should do it like Dexter's Kill Room.
Yeah, you know,
That's-
get
that's
the
been said.
plastic everywhere.
So I always wondered, why does she have like metal plates on her crotch?
You know, that's kind of the
Chastity.
thing that, you know, it's Japan, they sneak
Just
it in.
weird.
It's kind of weird. But yeah, I mean, we can talk about, so what have you guys got going on for Requiem?
You can go first. I have the much bigger spiel.
Yeah, we got 4 new skills going in for Soul Hunter, and we got 6 other skills being modified for Soul Hunter. Not just Soul Hunter, but Soul Hunter, Defiler, and Dominator. A new pet, a couple new skills that you get your initial activation of the skill, and then you get a chance at another effect happening, depending on whether you get a critical success or not, or there can be other qualifiers, but basically starting to play around with that functionality in the client too with skills. And been talking on the forums with users, taking some feedback and changing some of the stuff that we were putting in.
Yeah, I put up a poll on the Battlegrounds. So
It's good. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the class changes that are going in.
Well,
I have a video, that's right. I have a video to display.
You still made that
Sure.
video.
Yeah,
I can
it's
get
not a
that
lot.
queued up. You know what? Even if it's not a lot, I can get that set up. Now, you'd mentioned pets or a pet.
Right.
What is a pet of?
Well, the pet is Grim Reaper. It's basically going to be a high cooldown, high impact kind of mob that when it summons, and you only get it on a critical success on this attack, when it summons, it's only going to be around for at most, I think, is level 10, it's 20 seconds. And it won't be killed so easily. It has twice as much HP as the biggest pet right now as Humbaba, and basically twice the stats of Humbaba too. And it'll go after the target and just nail it for 20 seconds as best it can. Yeah, so that's going to be the strongest pet yet. And those are different from, say, the item all pets, where you get a pet and it picks up items for you. It's a convenience pet rather than, these pets are functional, combat functional. These are the Dominator's pets, and it's the only class with this many pets as well. They're supposed to be the class of summoned NPCs.
Is that the video?
Yeah.
I added Requiem music to it too.
Yeah, let me.
Exercise your skills.
Exercise, forget it.
Oh, your game shut off for a moment.
Yeah, it's just me turning off the Elgato. Hopefully that won't cause a problem there. But,
Okay.
they should be able to hear the audio from the game. So here we go. This is. Let me start again. Soul Hunter Defiler Dominator. Now, the scene is that
That's entirely new skill, yeah. And an effect that hadn't been seen yet either, but it's just basically the same effect as this one, except it's blue instead of green for HP. But it's pretty cool. You can use it pretty often, enough to make it semi-useful. Right now we're having a little bit of issues with MP regen is too fast for everybody. Really. All the characters, no characters run out of MP. It's unless you're in a raid, and then sometimes somewhere. Other than that, it's not a problem. So basically, the new skills that are coming out, as powerful as they are, we need to have these new skills use a lot of them.
Right.
And so that will make skills like stealing MP a lot more useful as well.
You're going to use these very powerful skills, but it's going to so you're going to need to have those skills.
And this, what's showing right now, actually, is basically the cooldown. Is that how fast you can and recently, based on feedback, we increased the range. It went from 30 down to 10, and then I got some different range. So now we're down to 25 again.
Yeah,
And that's
some-
hitting
some
positive
monsters,
feedback.
they're pretty big. They have big AoE attacks.
Well, and the idea is that this class is supposed to have pets that are out in front, and you need to have more than 10 meter range. It's understandable. Somewhere between 10 and 30 is better.
At least
For
it's
having your
meters and not
pets
feet.
out front.
You know what I'm saying?
So that's it. That's very cool.
Crispy Ladies, are you guys able to hear us? You should be able to.
Music is a little loud.
Yeah, turn it off. Actually, yay. Music is a bit loud. Well, it was the Requiem music, so that's okay.
Our music is always a little loud.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
Blood's
it
a little
looks
redder.
like there's some pretty cool skills that you guys are working on. So that's for the Dominator, Defiler.
And Soul Hunters, and that's the class changes. But we also have new maps and new other things that Alter's will talk about.
Sure.
Yeah, so my side of the update is we're adding a new instance called Bastion in Flames. It's Valdez, it's on fire. Some ancient corruption from within has overcome the city, and okay, I guess the mic, and like there's this group called Offend Your Canine. They go in and they try to quell like the corruption that's like starting within the city, and something is actually just affecting everyone, and apparently the only people that can stop it are Temperians. The story goes basically it's corrupting people's souls, and since Temperians don't have a soul, it has nothing to corrupt. So you're the only thing. Yeah, you're the only thing that can go there and stop the havoc.
No one
So,
else can even go in.
That's
huh?
cool.
Yeah.
No one else can even do
So we're gonna open that up. What's changing in there is we're not gonna have like bosses per se. It's gonna be more like every monster is gonna be pretty dang tough. They're gonna be like about raid tier-ish.
So this is like
Super
high-level
mobs.
character.
Yeah, we're gonna have to group up for this because they're gonna have a lot of HP, a lot of damage and stuff. But they're gonna either have a chance to drop items that are like, excuse me, new weapons or new armors, or like pieces. We call them fragments of Dark Anima. If anyone has completed some of the legendary bracer quests, where you upgrade your that bracer that you get with the Dark Anima, well, you find out through the story that there's things called Dark Anima that's like it's causing the corruption of people's souls. So you get fragments of this and you send it to the Temperian like organization, and they'll give you like boxes that have a chance to drop some of the armor and weapons. But the cool thing is, well, I guess it's cool for some people, maybe not for others, is the loot has random stats. So you're going to have like either upwards of 100 strength to maybe 10 strength, depending on your luck. Or you might just get like the best dang luck and just get perfect stats on everything, and of course that's going to be more valuable. Other thing that we're changing is the Ranger class. Or not the Ranger, but the Hunter, Ranger, Avenger class.
That chain.
Yeah, it's not a big change. We're only putting the first steps in right now. So the first step is one of the things that we saw that was really odd about this trio of classes. They have this weapon called the Launcher, and they are the only ones that use ammo. So you have this one class that uses ammo, so their base weapon is super low.
Granted, there are crossbows in the game too, but
Yeah.
they don't use ammo.
So
so
the launcher,
Magic, you know.
Stick
Yeah.
with one or the other, huh?
Because it uses ammo. The ammo has stats, and to kind of balance it out, they lowered the base damage of the launcher. So if you don't have the best ammo and the best launcher, you're always at kind of like a disadvantage compared to like the Shadowrunner, which uses a crossbow, like I explained, which doesn't even use any ammo. Not on top of that, you have to have the ammo within your inventory. So this is one of the only classes that has to free up space.
It's consumed, yes.
So we're like, this is kind of stupid. There's one class, or these trio of classes that have a penalty just to do the equal amount of damage as a Shadowrunner. So we're taking out that component. We're taking out the ammo, and this opens up a free slot on the character inventory. Before, every other class had this slot, but you couldn't put anything into it. You had this little box in your, player profile, and it was just like, oh, nothing goes in there except unless you're that class.
Right.
So what we're doing is we're opening up that slot for everyone, and we're making it a new slot with new items that you could find, and we're calling it pretty much like the biofluid slot. You get like nanobits, yeah, because you're a biological weapon. So you jack it into your back of your head, and just
Well, that's
yeah. And this slot will affect all the classes, so you could get either like if you're a magician, just get like an item that raises your AP.
Stats,
Yeah, it's another slot to upgrade and like have.
Elemental property damage for elementalists.
Yeah.
That's great.
We're gonna expand on it,
accessory slot or something like that.
Right now we're gonna have a lot of basic ones, but as time goes on, we're gonna add more like specialized things, like maybe like the elemental ones, like maybe one that gives more fire damage, and maybe you're a firecaster, so you use that to improve your fire damage.
Makes sense.
And yeah, so that's getting changed, and also because of that, we're going back to all the other launchers and raising the base stats and damage
Right.
to the crossbow.
They don't need the ammo anymore, so they don't need to have that possible nerf to the damage.
Yeah, so
using good stuff.
they'll actually do upwards of 20 to 30% more base damage of the launcher, as if it already has the ammo equipped onto it. So,
Matching it to the crossbow.
also for PvP, I'm also adding new field of contention. I'm either thinking field of contention or theme battle. I'm not pretty sure right now. Maybe we could have some players give you feedback. But there are going to be rewards, and there's going to be these stones that are weapon enchants. And the more you invest in PvP, you get these things called like vials of battlefield blood, and you use that to upgrade that stone to like upwards of level 50, and you could put that into your weapon, and it's just like a badass enchantment that only fits in the weapon slot. So some of these will have like in the beginning, for instance, it's a strength Xeon, like a strength enchant, and if you upgrade it to level 10, it'll unlock like stamina, or in our game constitution, and then you upgrade to level 20, and it goes, all of a sudden it's like, oh, you get more accuracy, and now the accuracy stats
Now,
onto it.
Is that randomized at all, or is it pretty much
It'll tell you right away, like what's gonna be in it. But it's like it unlocks this at this level, at this level, at this level, and then the final one is gonna be like a proc. So like at level 30, it's gonna do have a chance to shoot out a fireball or give you 15 seconds of like 100% speed.
So it'll be something that'll definitely incentivize people to get into PvP to get those.
Or a random teleport.
That's terrible.
That might be fun. Oh, that's just like.
Everybody's upgrading to level 29. I don't know why they don't go to 30.
Yeah, they just don't want that.
Oh, what?
Yeah, maybe like an April Fool's enchant or something.
And what else? I think that's about it.
When is this stuff coming in, approximately?
We're trying our hardest for next week, Wednesday.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, so you guys are definitely going to need some publicity stuff going on.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
But right now we're having like a
For me,
little road bump. The new armor textures are being made for the raid. The new tier of armor. We're having some issues with some of the art assets, and it's coming out like with no texture. It's just all white. So we're asking our artists to like hurry up and fix it. But I mean, it's cutting pretty close,
Probably end up pink in game.
No, it's gonna end up white. It's like no textures, just completely white.
Is it something where what you can do is, like for Aro, if something like that happened, you would drop a coin or a token or something like that for that equipment?
What we might do instead is we might just use the old armor textures for the time being, and then be like, hey, these are the images. Next patch, yeah. That will probably happen more than likely, because we still want this content to come out. Like, a lot of the stuff is done. It's just small little snippets here and there. The major snippet being the armor issue, but yeah, we'd love to get that fixed. Like, I spent the last couple days just, yeah, it's just not happening.
You know what? Murphy's Law.
Yeah, we always expect the worst. That's why, you know, that's what's the Requiem is all about. Expect the worst.
The worst.
The worst thing could happen.
Requiem bloody
never had
mare.
before. You gotta try out
Yeah.
for a while.
But yeah, that's some of the crazy stuff that's happening. A lot of work went into it. Yeah, and then actually,
Have an in-house development team.
so one of the things we've been working on that we want to give a sneak peek, or we'll talk about in a sneak peek, is currently the honor system.
Yeah.
So the honor system right now is really buggy. Actually, it's one of the main reasons why our game kept crashing in December. It's one of these features that our old developers added in partially and never finished, and then when December came around, something activated that unworking portion and just messed up the servers for like a whole month. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of try to scrap the system.
Yeah.
And replace it with something a little better. So the idea behind it is it's going to work kind of the same. Like you get honor points and you get honor levels. But rather than only getting it off of PvP or only getting it off of like raid bosses, you could just press a button and any amount of EXP that you gain would instead go towards that area.
Interesting.
And you level up that way.
Flip a switch and pour your XP into this instead of that.
So basically, you're saving up your EXP, and it's not contributing to your character or your level yet.
No,
No,
characters can do this.
Yeah, at level cap, you just press a button and you can do that. Or at any level.
Ah, interesting.
So for people who like to twink out their characters, like stop at level, what was it, 49, 69, you can just press that button and instead of like worrying about like your character over leveling, it'll just go to the system and keep pouring in EXP there.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
By going
So
out there and earning EXP.
we're working on that.
It's like I really like this like level of content or battleground or whatever.
It's the battlefield
It's like,
graphics,
I don't
really.
want to.
Yeah.
And then the second thing we're working on is our anniversary event, which is next month. And it's going to be the same theme as Titan Runehorn. Pretty sure a lot of people are going to figure out what it's going to be,
Well, there are
but
so many dragons.
well, it doesn't have to be a dragon.
Spoiler alert, maybe.
But it's going to be Titan something, and yeah, we're going to have equivalent drops.
Are Titans going to be falling, perhaps? You know,
Or you know, Attack on Titan.
their teens.
Yeah.
You know?
Although I must say the giant ammonite could use a Titan too. Anyway.
But yeah, we're working on that. Last year, a lot of people liked it, so we're gonna activate Titan Runehorn as well next year or next month, and then we're also gonna turn on the new Titan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Look forward to seeing it. We'll definitely have to preview this stuff on one of our streams. So once you guys have that in,
Yeah. I was hoping we would be able to get a little preview of the map today, but not quite.
Yeah.
But we'll have one soon enough.
very cool. And yeah, absolutely. So, do you have to take off?
I do. I was gonna mention it. I didn't want to be rude though.
I'll be rude.
I have to go, guys.
Go play some Magic.
No, well, actually, not tonight.
Got to shampoo your hair. Yeah.
Not tonight, but yeah, I'll be doing that. Do we have a date on that one yet?
I think maybe June 5th
Okay.
might be the stream when we do that.
Okay, that's perfect for the anniversary then.
Okay. Yeah. we could shave in Requiem on the back of your head.
No, you can't shave. No, I'm gonna tie
That's
it
a
off,
lot,
and
that's
no
a lot.
cutting higher than where I
Yeah,
tie
no,
off.
that
That's
would
the
be
way
wrong.
we're gonna do that.
I really think we should avoid the.
The beard's
the
fair
top
game,
part.
though. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, thank you very much, Hewing, for joining us.
Thank
on
you.
the
Color your hair
chat.
too. Color yellow, blonde.
We can take a poll.
Yeah. Make it
He's
Super
the Guy
Saiyan.
Fieri, you know, you can get some frosted tips. I think that'd be pretty cool.
I'll do anything for you guys, whatever you want.
Take care of Yenko as well. Thank you very much for joining us. So how are you doing, Alvarez?
Doing fine. Oh, I'm sorry for that burp.
You know what? No one is here who would be able to know that that's happening. That's fine.
So, no, nothing much. I mean, I saw, Age of Ultron 2 weeks ago? Was it 2 weeks ago, or is it?
Now, without getting into spoilers, what did you think about Age of Ultron?
It was alright, but I like, what was it? Guardians of the Galaxy a little better.
I feel that way too. Like I liked Age of Ultron quite a bit. It's a very fun popcorn movie, but you know, you didn't have the same build that you had for the original Avengers.
Yeah.
You know, like you had a bunch of movies to kind of set that one up. So you know, it was still a lot of fun. But yeah, like Guardians of the Galaxy, Iron Man. What did you think about Captain America 2?
I like Captain America 2.
I love Captain America 2.
I liked it. I did not like the first one that much. The first one felt so...
It was the same thing I felt about Iron Man 2, is that they're kind of like having to set up a lot of the MCU stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt that the whole thing kind of suffered a little bit for that.
Yeah. Let's see. Thor. Did not like 1. That was pretty bad.
Well...
Oh, did you hear about the new Thor?
No.
On the comics.
Oh, yeah. It turns out
She-Thor.
to be... what's her face?
Yeah.
I mean, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
So I'm wondering, will they actually do that for the movies?
I mean, it's a pretty famous actor, you know. I think they could probably convince her. Like, you know, if...
Well, I think she has to be pretty jacked, though. Because She-Thor is like...
Well, is she? I should read She-Thor. Or...
Thorette.
But yeah, you know, it's like reading Miss Marvel. That was like really fun.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Marvel's really got some awesome stuff going on right now in the comics.
Yeah.
Also, I totally bought some comics this weekend on the...
I could never buy comics. Like,
It's too expensive.
Well, like, I don't mind buying, like, the big books. It's just
Yeah.
when it's, like, the little issues that come out, like, every other week or whatever.
You know what?
And then you have, like, the
that is
side
ridiculous.
issues.
That is, like, totally
Like,
ridiculous.
X-Men. Like, if you want to follow the main story, but you want to follow a different story, you have to watch, like, X Factor, and then back then in the Generation X, and all that
that's
stuff.
a little nuts to have to deal with that stuff. But yeah, you know, the Princess Leia comics actually really, really good.
Oh, really?
And so, yeah, it's like, oh, but it's like $3.99, $4.99, and it's like, how many of these issues do I need to buy to make up what would be like a collector's set?
Yeah.
Otherwise,
So-
like the collections are like $12 or something like that.
And then you got DC with their whole, like, changing up the universe every 2 years. Like, we have to have a crisis.
Aren't
and
they
then
doing like a convergence or something? Like, well,
they're always doing a convergence.
I
or
mean, I guess
whatever.
everybody kind of does that.
Like Marvel does it a lot less, though. Like, their problem is they branch out, like, their story branches out like crazy. But then it's just like, DC's problem is, like, they constantly revamp the story.
Mm.
Like, now Batman's not, what's his face? Bruce Wayne?
What?
It's not Bruce Wayne right now, dude. You know who it is?
No.
It's Commissioner Gordon.
What? Come on.
In a robot suit.
No, come on.
That shoots rockets and, like, machine guns.
That's BS. I don't.
And then
believe that.
Superman, he got, like, super weak.
I mean, that's okay. That's kind of interesting and
Because,
weird.
like, I don't know, like, something happened and maybe, like, some kind of kryptonite dust or whatever in his system, and now he's, like, when he uses his full potential, he loses his power, so he's mortal for, like, a day or something. It's like,
Well,
come
you know
on.
what? It's like an interesting thing that they're doing to the character, which I mean, it's Not what I do,
Oh,
but
and who, I can't read that name. Chris. Crispy.
Is Jubilee still?
Yes.
Crispy Lays.
Yeah, Jubilee's still a vampire.
Wait,
with psychic
she was
ability.
originally?
No, she was like like Dazzler Jr. for a while, right? The Chinese, or was it Chinese or Japanese? Asian Asian Dazzler, and then she get bit by a vampire, and she's like super vampire Jubilee that could stay in the sunlight. And then now she finds like a baby mutant, and she takes care of it, so it's like a wolf and cub thing. With yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that's the thing that kind of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is. Oh, sorry about that. You guys have to hear that. Oops. Oh, that's going to sound real bad in just a second when you guys get there. Apologies in advance. The microphone just fell over.
Bad.
Yeah.
Whoops.
So hopefully, if we still have people who are
they can hear.
who still have ears. But yeah, that's the thing about the Marvel Cinematic Universe is that they kind of have done things in a pretty smart way.
Yeah.
But it's like one of the reasons I didn't read comics when I was a kid is because it did have a lot of really convoluted, like you had to have been reading from the start and kind of weird stuff like that.
I don't know. That's why I like manga. Like it has an ending. Like most of the story has
that's
an
true.
ending.
That's absolutely true.
Like I would just love to see the ending of Wolverine. Like what happens? Like does he finally get to age and die? Like what age is he when he dies? Like what century is it? You know?
That's interesting.
Or does he lose his healing factor before he dies?
I guess you can never really give those characters closure.
Yeah, or like Professor X. Like he's died and come back a bajillion times, like Superman.
Yeah, I mean, I guess nobody's ever really dead in comics, which I guess kind of like takes a little bit of the bite out of it. When you can kind of reverse it so easily.
Because no one takes it seriously anymore when they go, oh, so-and-so's last episode or last comic. It's like, no, because they're just going to rebrand the comic.
Yeah. I mean,
it's not going to be Batman anymore. It's going to be Detective Comics. It's not going to be, Superman anymore. It's going to be like the Wonderful Superman. It's like, it doesn't...
Well, I was surprised to learn that the Amazing Spider-Man was the original.
Yeah.
Like, it was actually not Mary Jane.
It was
Gwen Stacy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that because I grew up with the Spider-Man
Cartoon series?
90s cartoon.
No, that's X-Men.
Or... Yeah. And it had the really bad CG backgrounds as he's kind of like on Fox Kids. Yeah, I mean, for me it was like that, and like I actually got into the X-Men because of the cartoon.
Yeah.
I
thought the X-Men cartoon followed the comics pretty well.
Yeah, they had the whole stuff with Phoenix, where it's like, oh, Jean Grey died. I was like, oh no. So it was really cool seeing that stuff. I love the Batman animated series, and I think cartoons are a decent way to tell these stories.
Yeah, but I don't know about it anymore. It's just I think the cartoon animation kind of sucks nowadays.
It's tough unless you're doing like a really small show, like you're doing like a Adult Swim show or something like that. Yeah, I mean, you don't have Batman the Animated Series kind of stuff.
I think the best animated series in this generation is the Avatar series. That, hands down, has the best animation.
Okay, yeah, I will definitely agree with you on that.
I would love it if we could get those comics to be in that style. Rather than like what the WB is doing, like the super minimalistic Batman and Superman style. Like the old, Batman cartoons.
Oh, right. You're talking about like when it went from Fox to WB, where it's like super stylized, but it's almost too simple.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Batman Beyond.
And one thing I really hate about like the Batman and the WB cartoon series is like when there's violence, it always flashes out. it's not like a smooth transition of like someone getting punched.
Yeah, they were like even more sensitive about that than they were on Fox.
Yeah, and it's like it's a comic series. It's like,
I mean, it's not like it was that violent anyway, but it's like you can't show a person's fist hitting another person's face, or you can't kick someone under the... There are a lot of like standards and practices kind of thing. I mean, like, speaking of cartoons, I was watching Rocko's Modern Life. They're all up on YouTube, and there's so many gags that they got past the censors on there.
oh yeah, kids wouldn't know what it was about.
Kids wouldn't know, and the censors wouldn't know, but it's like watching it now, it's friggin' hilarious.
So is that like her in her normal clothes?
Well, it's kind of like the neat thing about this game is it's basically like Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, but like a generation earlier. So they have the main missions, but it's basically like you have this as a hub where you can, you know, take missions. You can develop, like for this, you can actually develop different upgrades to
like
your,
her.
to your mech.
Who's she? Is she
That's her. It's just she has glasses.
glasses?
on.
Like that's just.
It's weird because it's like it's the only screen in which she has something different. But each servbot kind of has their own personality, and so yeah, you can make consumables to kind of heal yourself up during the fights or during the missions. Armor, probably not a bad idea. But yeah, it's you can send your little guys out on missions, so it's very much like that kind of Peace Walker where you're sending your mercenaries out and you're building your base. It's a really fun mechanic that it's something I wish more games would do. I mean, I guess Mass Effect kind of had something like that.
Well, the World of Warcraft has that.
Excuse me, I don't. World of what? No, yeah, World of Warcraft. They put that in.
So it's incredibly boring, though. Like after a while, after
It is in a lot of games kind of boring.
Like you do it in the first like week, you're like, oh yeah, I'm sending my mercenaries out to like do stuff, and then they come back like a week later. It's just like,
is that how long it takes?
No, I'm just saying. Like after a week of playing this, like sending out people and coming back, you're just like, go on that same mission again. Yeah, you brought back gold. It's like,
you got gold. So actually, I think I have an older save game that I can go to. But what do you think about that Mad Max? Are you going to see that this weekend? Or?
I might see it this weekend. It looks okay. Like it doesn't. I don't know. I want to like it, but it doesn't feel the same without Mel Gibson.
Yeah, I mean,
because he was like, even though he was like serious a lot of the times, but he has that goofy face. I don't think Tom Hardy could do that.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how they do that.
Like Tom Hardy is just like always serious.
I don't know.
In those kind of roles, like he's
in those kind of roles, but I mean, he showed in Inception that he can be pretty, like, you know, he can have like that element of humor. The thing with Mel Gibson is that he made it look great when he was getting beaten up.
Yeah.
Like, he made it totally believable. He was not the kind of actor where he has to look beautiful all the time. Like, he looked like he got his ass kicked. And, you know, but he's still standing. You know, he can even crack a smile. Like, I think that was definitely a strength. And, like, Road Warrior is still one of my favorite movies.
So, like, now that Tom Hardy is the new, you know, main character of Mad Max, don't you think that Indiana Jones should have a new main guy? Because I don't think Shia LaBeouf really
I don't
fits
think
that.
you should continue it from where it is. I think
Like
it's
a reboot, right?
Yeah, I think it's acceptable at this point that you could totally do I think it would be totally acceptable now to have a. Oops, shoot.
Messed up.
It would be totally acceptable to recast Indiana Jones. Although, I just don't know who I would want in that role.
So, for me, after watching Game of Thrones,
Mm-hmm.
I think Jaime Lannister could be the Indiana Jones.
Okay.
Right?
I mean, I haven't watched much of the show, but I kind of like, just through osmosis, I picked up the names of these characters. But, yeah, I mean, the thing is you want to get that young person in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, somebody who you're going to be able to use for a number of years.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that totally makes sense. Like, Game of Thrones is one of those shows where, you know, people are going to be pretty hyped to see an actor from, you know, it's not going to be like Shia LaBeouf where it's kind of like people felt like he didn't earn it,
Yeah.
you know. Like, Game of Thrones is a show where people work pretty hard. They turn some great performances. I can see that. But, I mean, I guess it would have to be a prequel then, right?
Or just revamp.
Revamp, it would take place in 1930s.
Yeah.
I could see that. I mean, Harrison Ford, again, when it's like the Mel Gibson thing where it's like it's one person who's in that role, you know, that's pretty tough. But, I mean, I guess James Bond changed.
Yeah, he changed all the time.
I mean, the thing with Doctor Who is that he changed and it's not like a different continuity or anything. I mean, I guess who's going to play Bond after, you know, after the current guy?
That's a good question.
You know, get Pierce Brosnan back again? I don't know. GoldenEye 2. But yeah, I definitely understand what you're saying about like Mel Gibson. Like he's pretty iconic in that role. It would be it would be very different not to see him. But hey, if they got the same car, I mean, you know, I could maybe see that. But from the commercials, I like that there's so much that is practical effects. I think that's really amazing. It's like, I think we've seen, there's so much good CG out there, you kind of get used to it.
Yeah.
And so when you see something that's actually like real, it's like, oh my God. They actually had to get, you know, stunt actors and, you know, CG and all kinds of fun stuff.
There's nothing over there.
Okay, I've got one lift left, so hopefully this will get me where I need to go. There we go. So it's kind of weird. It's sort of almost like a mini game collection. They have parts where you run around like Mega Man Legends, but they also have like puzzles and kind of like some really neat dungeon exploring, like first person and stuff like that. So it's really kind of a neat, varied game. It's definitely a shame that this was not available before.
Well, I mean, it was on the PS1.
Or, yeah.
Just really hard to get.
I mean, I guess what would be the film series that you'd want to have come back?
Film series I would love to come back. Probably The Matrix.
Ooh.
Just redo The Matrix.
Yeah.
Especially the disaster after 2 and 3.
There was a lot that was kind of botched on that. I can definitely see the issues with that. I mean, would you, like, Matrix 1 is canon, but everything else didn't happen? Or?
Yeah. The other ones were a dream sequence or something.
I would be totally down with that. tricky.
Let's see what you can do.
Could put this.
I mean, I think moving that to the left is the best.
Yeah, because these ones are so heavy you can't move once you picked them up. So I guess I just have to. Yeah, I just might not be able to get that last container. Unless. Okay, I've got 2 lifts left, so I don't think I can really.
Oh, wait, go back one step. Lift that brown one.
Mm-hmm.
Go down. Could you put it right there to the left?
Ah! Okay, I think I actually can make that now. Very smart. But I really like the chunkiness of the game's design.
Mm-hmm.
I like where it's basically like pixel art, but it's applied to a polygon.
Flat polygon.
And I mean, I guess like, Metal Gear Solid, all those were basically like that.
Can you make it? Oh, you made it.
Nice, thank you.
No problem.
I mean, don't those look like minions? Doesn't that look like Despicable
Well,
Me?
does
just
the
stole that?
minions look like them? Because this came out way
No,
before.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Also, I guess maybe they couldn't complain because they're basically Legos.
Yeah, the Lego
They're
people.
like, well, maybe let's not make too much of a stink. But yeah, I even though like draw distance isn't great, everything's really blocky. It's a really charming look. But yeah, I mean, if you brought in a game for a Warpportal Weekly, what do you think you'd be?
For what system?
It can be any system. I mean, here we've got a Dreamcast, we've got a PS3, so we can play PSN games like a PS1. This one won't do PS2, but we can do PS3 games. And pretty much if you brought in anything, we'd be able to plug it in.
I would try to do something that's really difficult. Well, not difficult, but challenging.
Mm-hmm.
That none of us could beat now. Maybe we were games that we could beat when we were children.
Okay. That's
I know everyone has beaten Mega Man 2. But can you beat it now?
I have never been able to do platformers. Like,
Oh, really?
When I was a kid, all I could do was like Dragon's Quest and Final Fantasy because they're turn-based.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't have the hand-eye coordination. Like, it's basically like trying to play a roguelike game right now where it's like, oh, yeah, you've got 3 lives, and that's it. You've got 3 lives and 3 continues.
How about games
then-
like Contra
Oh,
without the code?
No. I was terrible at those games. My parents were better. They, when I was a kid, like they bought the NES for me, but they ended up playing most of it because it was like I was just terrible at games.
Okay, how about
And they're like, well, we might as well get some use out of this.
a PS1 game? Because that's probably more along your era.
Mm-hmm.
PS1.
Actually,
that was difficult.
If we actually had something like Symphony of the Night or something, that actually would be kind of cool.
That's too easy.
Mm.
You know what would be a good game? Things like Klonoa.
Oh, that was 2D, right?
2D, but 3D renders, yeah.
Well, does Donkey Kong count for that? Because they were 3D rendered,
Yeah.
but then they're
Well,
photographed. They're
I
turned
guess,
into
yeah.
sprites.
Or maybe we could
Crispy
go like...
Lace is Bloodborne. Oh,
How about... Because the PS1, I played a lot of RPGs. That was like my RPG system.
mm-hmm.
Ooh, PS2, we could play Burnout.
Ooh. I mean, I'm probably not great at
Well, you don't
driving
need to be
games, but
great,
Burnout, if you mess up, it's so much fun to see your car wreck.
Who
Yeah.
can get the best accidents?
I mean, I could get Burnout Paradise. Because if that has
But 3 is the best. Burnout 3 for PS2 though. Well, you don't have PS2, huh? Yeah, I guess Burnout Paradise would be the next best one.
You know, Dead or Alive, Beach Volleyball, you know, all the classics. I do have an original Xbox, which I actually have used to stream on this before. It just doesn't look great. Nice thing about the PS3 is it's more streaming friendly. Ghosts and Goblins is another good choice by Crispy Lays.
That one I couldn't beat.
Oh,
I
Ghosts and
cannot-
Goblins is legendarily
I
hard.
could not beat that one.
Well, because it's like one hit, your armor's gone. Second hit, you're done. It's like Mario.
Let's see, what else was there? Because I'm thinking like short games, because like, if you play Symphony of the Night, you have to play it multiple times just go through, right?
Well, you know, there's
Like
a
maybe
lot
a game
of...
will get beat in one sitting, but it just...
Well, what about like a Shovel Knight or something modern, retro? Guacamelee, there's a lot of cool like games that you can get on a PSN or something like that.
Or Mario Kart.
Mario Kart's fun. You know, Splatoon is really like that. Really looks the way they're doing things looks really cool. Like I like the Jet Grind Radio aesthetic to it. The stuff that they're doing with like weekly events and all this kind of stuff is like that is a really cool idea. Like, if this is the way that Nintendo's going to get into like doing shooters or doing like multiplayer games, it's not the worst way to go about doing it.
Yeah.
The only thing is I don't have a Wii U. It's just like the N64. There were like a couple games like I want to play Shadows of the Empire. I want to play GoldenEye. I don't really care about Mario.
Yeah.
And there's no way I can afford the system just for those. So I ended up buying a PS1.
Well, PS1 was like the best choice back then. Like people say like, oh, N64 was great, but PS1 had all the good games.
The PS1 was the actual like best. It was one of those like this is the best one in the generation.
Weren't you just in the city?
Yeah, the second mission you kind of go back and you face like a different kind of enemy here. So what they bring you are plates of curry for whatever reason.
Weird.
But yeah, it's like it's a weird game, and I'm glad they brought it. Actually, the thing that I really want is like, hey, give me another Mech Assault. Did you get a chance to play that?
On the PC, right? I got to play a little bit back then.
It was kind of like it was like a more arcadey.
Yeah, it was like a twin stick kind of game.
Yeah.
You just.
Well, it was like a third-person action game.
What is it? I'm getting them all mixed up now.
But yeah, it was set in the BattleTech universe. In the second one, you could actually kind of like get out of your mech and actually like do some. Yeah, it's got that kind of like cartoon. The bad guys. Well, actually, not bad guys. You're actually shooting civilians here, but they kind of crisp up like in a cartoon. So I mean, this is before Grand Theft Auto 3. It's.
Yeah, I always felt bad for the characters in the Mega Man world. It's like you constantly have these two dumbass doctors, right? Building robots that no one
it's
really
like,
wants.
Hey, this is bad.
It's like, after the first 8 robot masters assaulting your city, you're like, maybe robots
Not
aren't the
the
best thing
greatest
to...
idea.
Let's kind of hold off on the robot thing, guys. And they're like, no.
I mean,
no,
I don't know too much about the story of Mega Man. Like, were like Cutman and all these guys, were they supposed to be?
They're like utility workers. Like Gutsman was supposed to be like a construction worker, and
okay, so they weren't just created for.
yeah, they were like
war.
utility mechs, right? So when 8 of them go berserk and start like taking over cities and stuff, you'd think
Is that
like,
always 8?
yeah.
Well, because like the Brady Bunch portrait.
Yeah.
You,
So you'd be like, okay, let's stop with the robots. Let's make robots illegal. Like,
well, it's like Pat Labor.
yeah.
It's like, hey, maybe this is a bad idea.
And let's get that Dr. Light. Like, yeah, he has good intentions, but man, his robots are wreaking havoc. And it's like, oh, what robots? It's like, Mega Man, like
Roll.
he's
the dog.
helping out, but he's kind of blowing up stuff. And he has like a nuclear missile in his arm, pretty much. That's not stopping.
Yeah.
And these innocent policemen who have like their cars, like just
Well,
send
I mean,
the freaking car, just throw the car at them, and they're like,
they are basically trying to do like a suicide attack on me. So
yeah. And
well, I mean,
like,
I guess they are diving out of the car, but it's
and-
still rude.
you're just like burning them to a
You're
crisp
burning them to a crisp. That.
for them doing their job. And they're like, oh, we have to save the citizens. Just forget about the car. Just throw it at this giant robot thing that Dr. Light or whoever made, and let's just.
I may be starting to see it your way. This might be a little. Oops.
And they have these giant blimps with guns too. They're like shooting everything at you. But you're like, oh, it just did some damage. Let me proceed to shoot everyone down. Yeah. It's just kind of funny. I think it would be a great game to find out what happens to Mega Man. Because you go up to level, like Mega Man 10, I think that was the last one. And then it goes straight to X. Now, what happened to Mega Man during those couple hundred or decades or whatever? Right?
I mean, is that supposed to be like what happens in Mega Man Legends, maybe?
I don't think so. I think Legends is a complete different world.
I mean, you're probably right.
Because isn't Roll in Legends like an actual girl?
She was an actual girl in. Oh God. Oh, that took a lot of my health away. Whoops.
Oh, is this a boss fight?
Yeah. That lady policeman is the boss, much like Tony Danza. Oh. Oh.
Judo
Oh,
flip you.
jeez. That takes off like a quarter of your health every time. Let me. The nice thing is you can have.
You eat pork to make your robot stronger?
No, you can only sell those, which.
Also, I have this theory that Dr. Wily is actually the good guy.
I can see that. I mean, they had the whole Palpatine as secretly the good guy.
No, I mean, like, if you think about it, the robots, the only ones with actual, free will is Dr. Wily's robot, right?
Are you saying that Mega Man does not have free will?
I'm thinking he doesn't. He always has to do the good choice, which is
Well, I mean, do Wily's robots...
Proto Man,
Uh,
right? He reprogrammed Proto Man to have
shoot.
a choice.
See, I think my understanding of Mega Man stuff is not great. It's like when it came to Capcom games, for me, it traditionally was like the 1943 and stuff. Like I was a little more familiar with those. But yeah, not a big platformer guy, but it's like stuff like this, 3D character action games. Like I have a little bit more familiarity with, but yeah, it looks like it's a pretty cool universe. This Mega Man stuff.
Well, yeah, like Mega Man, it's the whole like Dr. Wily and I guess Light have a fight, and he's like, who's the most genius, robot master dude, and everyone's like praising Dr. Light, and so Wily goes insane and creates his master robots. Well, they're Dr. Light's robots that he reprograms. So Gutsman and all those.
So that's why Dr. Mega Man can use the stuff once he rips it off of their dead bodies.
And Dr. Wily steals Proto Man, which was Mega Man's prototype, and gives him free choice. And his free choice is to like either do bad things or good things or save Mega Man when he wants to. He's not always programmed to do good things.
So he's basically the Shadow the Hedgehog of
I
the
guess.
Mega Man universe.
Yeah.
But no, that's cool. That's a more interesting character than just you're always good, you're always bad.
And maybe he's just trying to give freedom to all the robots rather than being subservient to man. And then Dr. Light's the one that's like, no, they all have to be slave robots.
Kind of like a robot uprising. I like that. But, yeah, it's something where... Have you been following the Mighty Number 9 at all?
I actually am very meh about that.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people that are kind of like, the stuff that they've seen so far is like, it's a great idea, but execution maybe... so, I mean, we'll have to see. There's a number of, like the Castlevania...
Actually, that one intrigues me a little more than the Mighty Number 9. Because at least he's trying to do a different story. Mighty Number 9 feels like he's just falling back.
Is it really just like the Mega Man story, but...
Pretty much like eight robots go insane, and you're the only robot that can stop them. And you have a sister, and it just feels very...
I mean, this one, it is like, Kickstarter, should we have a whip or should we have a sword?
Yeah.
But, it looks like they're going about it the right way.
But at least the story is different. It's like, everyone's not a vampire.
It's like a female lead? Or
it's a female lead. And when I was reading it, it's like, you have a disease that slowly crystallizes.
Oh, yeah. It's like...
like a stained glass window or something like that.
Yeah, that's a really cool idea. It's like... I feel like other shows were doing that. Oh, well, I mean, Frozen did that, where it's like, one of the characters is turning into stone. It's like, okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, she...
But, like, turning into, like, a stained glass window?
Yeah, and it gives her powers and stuff. But then, like, at least that's different. It's not like, should I make another game about vampires? It's like, it doesn't do that.
Is it about... I mean...
The main antagonist, I think, was her friend that already turned to stained glass.
Okay, so it's not explicitly everyone is just a vampire.
Yeah.
The world is a vampire. And on that note, I'd like to thank you, Alteris, very much for dropping in. Got some really cool preview stuff of Requiem this week, and looking forward to seeing that.
I'm looking forward to seeing it too. Seeing it running on live servers rather than our little test environment.
Well, you guys worked very hard on it, and so wish you the best of luck for that update next week. I'll help you guys out with the newsletter, so if you can get me pictures and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you guys so much for watching our Warpportal weekly stream. We do this pretty much every Friday at 5 p.m. Let your friends know. Hack into other people's accounts for Twitch and set it to be watching our channel. I think that'll be really good for our numbers. I'm Ciamoto.
And I'm Alteris.
And see you guys next week. Have a wonderful weekend. And for those of you who are looking to stream any of our games, R01, R02, Requiem, Rose, Dragon Saga, tweet at PlayRagnarok, and I'll make sure to, we can host, we can help promote your streams on our Facebooks, just to let people know that you're live streaming. So until next week, you guys have a great rest of the day.